Joe Rogan leaned forward, eyes narrowing slightly under the glow of the studio lights. His tone was calm, almost too calm for the bombshell he was about to drop. Across from him sat Congressman Adam Schiff, dressed in his usual sharp blue suit, posture tight, jaw clenched like a man preparing for a fight he thought would never come. And then Joe said it. "Congressman, can we talk about the Valenco file?" Everything stopped. Schiff blinked. Once. Twice. Then he did something no one expected, he laughed. A sharp, humorless sound that rang more like a warning than amusement. "I don't know what you're talking about," he replied, but his voice betrayed him. Too tight. Too quick. But Joe wasn't backing down. The file was declassified 6 months ago. Buried in the CIA archives. It says in 1997, you were stationed in Eastern Europe as part of a diplomatic security assignment. Except it wasn't diplomatic. It was covert. And it involved a man named Ivan Valenco, a human trafficker who disappeared after a U.S. intelligence sting fell apart. What happened, Congressman? The chat room exploded. Twitter lit up. TikTokers clipped the moment within minutes. But in the studio, there was only silence, thick and suffocating. Adam Schiff shifted in his chair. The controlled politician who had stood tall during impeachment trials and intelligence hearings was gone. In his place was a man with eyes full of ghosts. Then, without warning, he slammed his fist on the table. "You don't know what the hell you're talking about, Rogan." Schiff snapped, his voice cracking. "You think this is some gotcha moment? That this is entertainment? You have no idea what that mission cost me. What it cost innocent people. You sit here in your studio playing detective with half-truths and scraps from old files, but you weren't there. You didn't live it." Joe didn't flinch. He leaned back, giving the tension space to breathe. "Then tell us," he said quietly. "Tell us what happened." And for the first time in 28 years, Adam Schiff did. He told the story no one knew. In 1997, Schiff wasn't just a government lawyer. He was part of a covert task force investigating human trafficking across post-Soviet Eastern Europe. Moldova, Ukraine, Belarus. They were chasing shadows, trying to shut down an international trafficking ring that was kidnapping children and selling them to the highest bidder. One name kept coming up. Ivan Valenco, a ghost in the underworld, protected by rogue elements in multiple governments. They tracked Valenco to a compound outside Chisinau. Schiff and his team had him. Or so they thought. But the op was compromised. Someone leaked the mission. The compound exploded before they could enter. 3 agents were killed. Valenco vanished. And in the confusion, dozens of children being held in cages underground, burned alive. Schiff survived. Barely. He told his superiors everything. But they buried it. Called it a failed intel exercise. The world never knew. He was ordered to stay silent, promoted quietly, told that his silence was for national security. For the greater good. But the nightmares never stopped. The faces of those children never faded. He buried himself in work, convincing himself he could do more from the inside, change the system that had failed them. But in truth, he was running. Not from Valenco. From his guilt. As he finished the story, Schiff's voice broke. His eyes welled with tears, not the rehearsed kind politicians summon on cue, but raw, human pain. "I should have spoken out," he whispered. "I should have burned down the entire agency to get justice. But I was scared. I let fear and ambition silence me." There was no applause. No smug commentary. Just silence. And then Rogan, the man known for poking the bear, did something unexpected. He nodded. Slowly. "Maybe it's not too late," he said. The fallout was immediate. News outlets scrambled. Congressional hearings were called. Former agents confirmed parts of the story. A formal investigation into the 1997 Moldova operation was launched. And most stunning of all, survivors began to come forward. Not all the children died that night. A few escaped through a tunnel. One of them, now an activist in Berlin, spoke publicly for the first time. "Adam Schiff was the only one who looked us in the eyes," she said. "He tried to save us. They wouldn't let him." Facing mounting pressure, Schiff resigned from Congress 2 weeks later. But he didn't fade away. He partnered with international human rights organizations, using his platform to expose trafficking networks worldwide. He launched a foundation in the names of the children lost in 1997. And for the first time in his life, he stopped running from the truth. In his final speech on the House floor, he said, I lived with a secret that nearly broke me. I thought hiding it would protect my career. But the truth is, silence only protects the powerful. Never the innocent. Never the forgotten. And in a world drowning in spin, partisanship, and performative outrage, that truth hit like a thunderclap. The story of Adam Schiff's eruption wasn't about scandal. It was about redemption. Because sometimes the darkest secret is the one that finally lets in the light. And all it takes is one voice brave enough to speak it.